All right, so today we're going to talk about the product and the quotient rules. And these apply to functions that have multiple terms or multiple functions of x within a function. So we'll start with the product rule. You've got y equals, let's say, f of x and, oh, why am I writing and? F of x and g of x right here. They could also be said as u and v. Oh, you can't see it? Oh, okay. All right.
Dude, you can't read handwriting.
So the way this works is you're going to take this function right here, u, or f of x if you prefer, and you're going to bring it down right here. You're going to do the same thing with g. Then you're going to take the derivative of both. So you would say f prime of x and g prime of x, just like that. And so from there, you could also say this is u prime, u, v prime. So what you're going to do is you're going to multiply that times that, and that times that. So you're going to have f prime of x times g of x plus f of x times g prime of x. All that's equal to y. Well, y prime. You could also say that's dy over dx. That would be your derivative, though. So that's the way that works. So we'll do a quick example. Let's say your function is y equals x squared times, why don't we go with 2x. Pretty simple, pretty basic. So to find your derivative here, you're going to take u or f of x if you prefer, and v or g of x if you prefer, and you're going to say x squared to find the derivative of that, which is 2x. Yeah, thank you. So then you'll have also your v over here, which is 2x, and you'll say your derivative is 2, because it is. And then from there, you multiply that, and you add them together, so you're going to end up with 4x squared plus 2x squared, which comes out to 6x squared. That's your derivative right there. And that is the product rule.
We'll stop it right there and do something. Where's this thing? Stop. Alright, so next what we got up is the quotient rule. This happens when your function here is something around u divided by v or any other formula as such. Rather than deriving the entire formula out for you, which would be a pain in the butt, we're just going to go ahead and give it to you, and you can pause the video once I write it so that you can write it down. But what it is low derivative of the high minus high derivative of the low over low squared. So there's the formula you got. That's how you kind of approach that. There's a way they derived it back then, but we ain't going to do that. So let's go ahead and do an example just to, yeah. Let's say your f of x is x squared plus 1 over 1 minus x. So how we're going to start is going to take the low derivative of the high minus high derivative of the low over low squared. So what's going to happen with that is we got low derivative of the high minus high derivative of the low. So that over low squared. Rather than doing all the algebra for you, we're just going to leave it like this. because you know how to do that. But that's the basic setup, and that's how you would set up in a problem. That's the quotient rule.
Okay, so now we're going to show you a couple of examples of when you should really not use the product or quotient rule. An example of when you shouldn't use the product rule is when you got a function like this. You've got y equals x squared. We'll go ahead and put 2 parentheses for good measure because somebody said that maybe I did it wrong. Anyway.
My bad.
So we got, in this case, you wouldn't want to use the product rule because it's actually easier to multiply this out and then multiply that and then use the power rule. And I'll just go ahead and show you how that would work. You've got x squared times x squared minus 4x plus 4 in parentheses. And then you would say, instead of doing the power rule here, you're just going to distribute this x squared. So you end up with x to the 4th minus 4x to the 3 plus 4x squared. And then from there you would just say 4x to the 3 minus 12x squared plus 8x. There's your derivative. You didn't have to use the power rule. Voila. Oh, yeah, excuse me. Prime. Swag. All right, now David's going to go ahead and show you the quotient rule. Here, come on around.
All right, so hopefully you got a view of that, because now it's going away.
Let's just get it. There we are.
So another time you don't want to use the product rule,
Quotient rule.
quotient rule, would be something like this. X is only on the bottom, not on both terms, so it can just be rewritten as 3/8 x thus y prime can only be equal to 3/8. So, yeah, that's one example. Another example, you could say, when you really don't, there's an easier way to do it. Let's say you have y equals, I'm reading this off, 3x to the 4th plus x plus 5 divided by x. Now, you could use the quotient rule and you would still get the right answer, but the easier way to do it would simply be just divide every top term by x. So then you would have 3x to the 3rd plus 1 plus 5 over x. And then from there, you just do the power rule, and that's way simpler on your brain. So those are 2 examples of when not to use the quotient rule.
All right, thanks for watching. Hope you guys learned something. Have a good day. Yeah.